Charlotte and I am a 27-year-old office worker. My husband Tyler is 2 years my senior in the same company. We were in different departments and had no contact, but we got to know each other through a company drinking party. We hit it off at once there and even developed a relationship. 1 year later, Tyler proposed to me.
Please marry me.
Tyler is reliable and good at his job. I had always thought that I could marry him too, so I said, yes, with pleasure. We decided to get married. When I first went to my in-laws' house to greet our marriage, I thought everyone was very kind. My first impression was very good.
I'm so happy.
Tyler is finally getting married. My mother-in-law and father-in-law were happy and welcomed me with open arms.
I didn't expect Tyler to bring such a beautiful woman with him.
Tyler's sister, who is 5 years older than him, also congratulated me. Nice to meet you. When I greeted them, the whole family was all smiles.
It's my pleasure too.
As nervous as I had been, I was relieved by the friendly atmosphere in my in-laws' home, and I was glad that I married Tyler. I felt that way from the bottom of my heart. When Tyler dropped me off at my apartment after greeting my in-laws.
Were you nervous?
Yes, I was nervous, but everyone was so nice to me.
I'm glad to hear that. So when do you want to move into that house?
What?
What's wrong?
I was a little surprised to hear Tyler say that, because I had always thought we would be living together. But my in-laws are kind and I thought we would get along well even if we lived together, so I said, no, it's nothing. I have to get ready to move in and everything, so maybe in a month or so? Okay. Married life would continue smoothly, that's what I thought at the time. However, looking back now, I see that everything went wrong after living together. On the day of the move, my parents were unable to come because it was not convenient for them. I thought Tyler and I would have to do it alone, but my parents-in-law and even my sister-in-law all came to help us. I'm sorry, even you all came to help me.
It's totally fine.
I'll do this much for you because you're going to my house to marry him. They helped us with smiles on their faces. What a kind family. I almost cried a little. With such kind people, I am sure we will get along well even if we live together. I was convinced of this and stopped worrying about moving in together. If it were true, I would have been planning to live with my in-laws from the next day, since I had some stuff to take to my parents' house and things would be a bit chaotic. However, since the move was completed early, I would be living with my in-laws from that day. I went to the kitchen to help with dinner and said, I'll help you, mother-in-law. She smiled and said, you must be tired today, aren't you? Let us take care of dinner and you can rest. I thanked my mother-in-law for her kindness and decided to take a rest. Then,
What? You really don't help her with anything, do you?
my sister-in-law said in a deliberately audible voice. My mother-in-law also laughed and said, well. And I realized how insensitive I was. Still, I did not expect her to say such a sarcastic thing and could not hide my surprise. I guess it was not a good idea to be so lenient from the very first day. I knew I would do it. I said, and was about to accept my sister-in-law's dishes when. Get out of my way, and she bumped me on the shoulder and even stuck her tongue out at me.
Just go away.
My mother-in-law just laughed and said coldly. I felt very scared because the atmosphere was totally different from the usual two gentle people. Did I say something so rude? I didn't know why they suddenly acted so coldly toward me. I had a bad feeling, but told myself that it was my fault for being so lenient from the first day. The next day, I decided to try my hardest, starting with preparing breakfast. The next day, I woke up in the morning and went to the kitchen to find that the breakfast was ready.
How long are you going to stay in bed?
I'm sorry. I can only bow my head to my sister-in-law's stuffy way of talking. I decided to get up earlier tomorrow and help out. After breakfast, I was getting ready to go to work when my sister-in-law came into my room and said, "You are part of our family from now on, so I want you to put your salary into our account every month." Oh, yes. How much should I put in?
Of course, it's the full amount.
What? All of it? Of course I knew I had to put money into the house, but I had no idea it would be all of it.
Of course, you'll take care of it then.
With that, she quickly left the room. I had to go to work, so I couldn't say anything more about it. On payday, I decided to put most of my salary into the house account. The house is not so big as to be a mansion, and the meals are not extravagant. Tyler and his father were both working, but she was getting all the money from me, so what in the world was she doing with it? The mystery soon became clear. The day after I deposited the money into the account, my sister-in-law came home with a luxury brand bag. My sister-in-law does not work and stays at home all the time. There was no way she could afford such a bag. She must have bought it with the money I transferred to the account. When I talked to Tyler about it, he said, "Of course not. She must have bought it with the money my father gave her." He did not take me seriously at all. I wanted to think so too, but every payday, my sister-in-law's brand name items increased. I thought it was indeed strange, so I decided to ask my sister-in-law clearly. "Sister-in-law, may I have a word?"
What?
"What happened to your bag?"
I bought it. What do you want to say?
"Well, it's hard to say. Did you buy it with my money by any chance?"
What? Of course not. Don't make false accusations. I bought it with my own money.
I didn't want to get in trouble with her and make things worse. "I'm sorry." I apologized and said nothing more. But she was different. She took offense at my suspicion, yelled at me, and cursed me.
You don't make a good salary. There is no way I can buy brand name items with that kind of money.
What kind of a salary are you talking about?
You're a useless person, and you're questioning people like a big shot. That's enough.
All I could do was bow my head and apologize. I regretted that I had not said anything if this was going to happen. This led to my sister-in-law ignoring everything I said to her. The only time she would talk to me was in front of my father-in-law and Tyler. And only when she gives me instructions. "Clean my room, okay? Bring me some tea." She uses me like a servant. When I tried to refuse softly, she stared at me with a terrible look in her eyes. I didn't want to be upset again, so I had no choice but to shut up and do as she said. My mother-in-law just laughed at this exchange and did nothing to stop or defend my sister-in-law. On the contrary, she would curse at me and make me do all the garbage and toilet cleaning.
What a jerk.
"I'm sorry, I was just cleaning up the garbage."
From now on, you must take a bath every day at the end.
Yes. This unreasonable harassment continued every day. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law loved Tyler very much, and in front of him, they stopped teasing me like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Because of this, when I talked to Tyler about the harassment, he would say, "You're overreacting, aren't you thinking too much? I don't see you that way." He sided with my mother-in-law and sister-in-law and did not believe any of my words. I felt more and more alone day by day, and being at home became suffocating. No matter what they said to me, if I rebelled, it would definitely turn into a fight. I tried to avoid that somehow, so I just bowed my head, apologized, and did as I was told. Sometimes they would force me to do the housework even though I was tired from work. On my days off, my sister-in-law would make me go shopping in the morning and work hard, and I became exhausted both physically and mentally. When Tyler or my father would say that the food I cooked tasted good, my sister-in-law would say, "Really? I am so happy. It was worth making." She acted as if she had made the food, even though she had not helped at all. Conversely, if my sister-in-law cooked a meal and the reaction was not good, it was assumed that I made it. Because of this, Tyler thought I was incapable of doing housework.
I know you're tired from work, but you have to do your best with the housework too.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's just the beginning.
My mother-in-law laughed at me, saying that she knew all about it. Even if I told the truth, no one would believe me. I tried not to say anything unnecessary because it would have been enough if I had just gone along with it. Still, the snoring escalated day by day. Finally, they began to say things that I was concerned about in a very blunt manner.
Grandchildren yet? What good is a wife who doesn't bear children? Are you going to have children?
Is it possible that your body is incapable of producing children? Poor Tyler, he got the wrong wife. I want to have a child, too, and Tyler and I are trying hard. But I couldn't have a baby. Their words without a shred of delicacy were mentally damaging to me. There was a part of me that hoped that having a child would make our current situation a little better. However, I could not have a child. Then one day, I saw a notification on Tyler's cell phone. There was a message from someone who looked like a woman.
I had fun today. Take me out again. When can I see you again?
Although I knew I really shouldn't, I took his cell phone and checked the emails and discovered that Tyler was cheating on me. I could feel my blood drain from my veins. When Tyler came back to the room, I asked him, "I'm sorry, it won't happen again. Just don't tell everyone." He immediately confessed that he had been cheating on me. I endured my daily snoring and put up with my sister-in-law using his salary. I felt lonely, but I had put up with it until now for Tyler's sake. I was so angry because of all the things I had accumulated that I exploded as if a dam was about to break. Don't be ridiculous. That's impossible. Let's tell this fact to my in-laws, I thought. Gathering the entire family in the living room, I told them that Tyler had been cheating on me. Then, Tyler took an unbelievable action.
That was all a lie, so don't worry about it. We got into a bit of a fight.
I didn't lie.
What are you talking about? You wanted to harass me.
He was lying, making me the bad guy, and trying to cover up the fact that he was cheating on me.
She was so dirty. I can't believe she would do such a thing.
Tyler would never do such a thing.
Scarlett, I'm disappointed. That's not true of Tyler.
Naturally, no one believed a word I said. I fell to my knees in despair.
Enough. You can't do the housework, you can have children, and you keep talking about things that disrupt the family harmony.
There is no one in this house who believes in me.
Get out of my house, you useless wife.
She's so useless. She can't even have children.
It's better for everyone if you get a divorce.
My mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and father-in-law took turns cursing me. And finally, Tyler said, "Let's break up." I felt something snap inside me.
What are you laughing at?
Have you lost your mind?
I stared at them all and said, "Remember." Saying only one word, I hurried to my room and packed my bags to leave the house. My mother-in-law said happily, "It's so refreshing that you're finally leaving. I'll make sure you pay the alimony."
What are you talking about? We never pay it for you. I'd rather have that.
I recorded your snoring until now.
Recorded?
Besides, I took pictures to prove Tyler was cheating on me.
What proof?
Oh, didn't I tell you? My parents' house is a lawyer's office, so I'll sue all of you. When I said that, they all started to get so upset that I could laugh.
Oh no.
Ugh, you're lying, aren't you?
Well, good.
Bye.
Thank you very much until now.
Wait a minute.
I ran out of the house and headed for my parents' house. They were naturally surprised that I had suddenly returned in the middle of the night. Even so, my parents listened to my story in tears without saying a word to the end.
I didn't know that had happened.
It must have been hard for you. I'm sorry I didn't notice.
Saying so, my parents hugged me. Perhaps relieved by the warmth of family after a long time, I fell asleep that day. When I woke up the next day, my father was already preparing for my trial.
I'm sorry I couldn't help you before. We'll take as much alimony as we can get.
He was so determined. My father is a very good lawyer, and he has rarely lost a court case. He also told me that this time I had a lot of evidence, which was a huge advantage. I cried and thanked my father for his dependability.
I'll take care of the rest, and Scarlett can relax.
That's right. You should rest for a while.
I decided to take advantage of my parents' kindness and stay at home for a while. After that, thanks to my father's defense, the divorce was finalized. I received a large amount of alimony from Tyler and from my in-laws. Tyler and his family were surprised at the amount of alimony I was charged, and they apologized to me out of hand. Every day I received a phone call from someone from my parents-in-law's family.
I am so sorry for everything. I didn't know that Scarlett was so hurt.
I'm sorry. How can I pay such a large sum of money? Please, can you take down the bill? She said. I answered each call the first time and listened to everyone's apologies. Then I blocked the calls and ignored them. When they realized that the phone calls were disconnected, they sent me letters next. I kept throwing them away without reading a single one, and eventually they stopped coming. After I cut them off, I decided to start my life over and not think about Tyler and the others. Nothing happened for a while and Tyler and his family didn't bother me much anymore, when suddenly Tyler came to my house.
Scarlett, I'm sorry for everything. Can we please start over?
He shouted at the front door. I wanted to ask my father to send him away, but I was the only one in the house at the time, so I had no choice but to answer. What? Now?
Thank you for answering.
Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to get rid of you because you're a nuisance to my neighbors.
I'm done with the affair, so please start over.
No, I can't do that. Go home.
I've cut ties with my mother and sister. I didn't know that they've been bullying Scarlett for so long.
I talked to you many times, didn't I? You didn't believe me, did you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Saying that, Tyler started to get down on his knees. No, that's not what I want. You came here because you couldn't pay the alimony anyway, right?
I'm not moving until you forgive me.
I see. I'll call the police. Tyler didn't seem to be leaving, and it was getting annoying, so I decided to call the police. Soon after, a police car came and Tyler was taken away. After that, Tyler stopped coming to my house and I felt relieved. I found a new job, fell in love, and was finally able to lead a positive life. One day, I happened to pass by my former in-laws' house for the first time in a while and found that the house had been put up for sale. Suck it up, I shouted in my heart. They deserved everything. 3 years have passed since then, and I am now remarried and expecting a daughter next month. My husband's in-laws are very kind people and respect us. I am especially close with my mother-in-law and we even go out shopping and out to lunch together. I am now living with my husband in an apartment and we are having a peaceful and happy life every day.